Okay. So everybody's talking about it. Friday, the 13th, the big sewer opening. A lot of people are speculating kind of what's going to happen. What are they going to see? What are they not going to see? The pros and cons. And we're just kind of trying to get a sense of where you're at with the opening and kind of just really your 2 cents on where we're at in the sewer world, really, sewer industry.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned pros and cons. I can't really even think of any cons at all. As a sewer expert, I can tell you that sewers are vital to the survival of the human species. Because without sewers, there would be no poo,
Mm,
and it's important for us to go poo. That is an important thing, and if we would not be able to go poo poo without sewers, because without sewers we would have nowhere to put the poo.
right.
So if there's nowhere to put the poo, then we can't go poo,
Right.
and that would mean the end of civilization.
Right. And that's a lot of
So
people's perspective on it, of course, is oh, it's vital in our survival, it's vital in society. Obviously that's being brought up in every conversation, but I think where a lot of people are at is like what there's got to be something else down there. These are huge structures. And that's where people I think are kind of having that debate is is it just going to be fecal or is there going to be something alive or maybe
certainly,
something valuable or
well,
something and that's
uh,
what where we're kind of at. And so
aside from the poo, there certainly will be um, rats. As depicted in the major motion picture Ben, which featured the hit song sung by Michael Jackson entitled Ben.
mhm.
And that was a great historical milestone in film, in the discourse of film, to really go underground and imagine what the sewer is like down there. And now when it opens, we're really going to get to see how true, the sewer lives up to its legend as depicted in the film Ben.
Absolutely. We were kind of hitting the pavement the other day, just talking with people in the community. And one of the things that was brought up was, are you familiar with the Ratman? New
Ratman,
York?
Ratman Scuthers.
No, it's in New York. It's they have a Ratman in their
Oh yeah,
sewer
yeah,
system.
yeah, yeah. I've seen him. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen him.
I mean, I've heard of him.
Okay.
Hear of him.
Okay, because this is completely new concept to me. This is something that I've never really even kind of heard a whisper about, and there's a lot of speculation there could be Ratman, basically California Ratman, San Diego Ratman. And I'm curious, like, what would be the difference? Like, is one Ratman good, one Ratman evil, or is one do they have opposing kind of maybe political positions or just maybe different molecular makeup? I'm just curious
Yeah,
kind of what your take is on a West Coast Ratman versus East Coast Ratman.
yeah, yeah. Right, right. Well, the Ratman of California is a lot more laid back. Okay, East Coast Ratman is, a lot more high strung. He's neurotic, but the Rat Man in California just loves to sort of surf the sewers,
Right.
and you know will sometimes just sort of do backstrokes, and
Sure.
just lay around, and has a really pretty positive attitude, if not the most motivated, right? But East Coast Ratman is, he's more irate. He's sort of a miserable sort of rat, I guess.
Yeah.
But man, when you see those golden locks of hair coming out of that golden rat from California. I mean, it is a sight to behold. It's a
Yeah.
sunshine rat, you know. It's a sunshine rat.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm telling you, that's great to hear because I kind of had this Ratman concept sprang on me. I wasn't really kind of prepared for something like that here, and so my immediate thought was worry. Having one here in California, my immediate thought was just danger and
Oh no, no, not the California ones. No,
right.
you do have to watch for the East Coast one, but
Yeah.
in California, you know, you might even want to hang out with the thing a little bit.
Yeah.
You might want to just kind of relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Pick up some chicks.
Yeah. That's
Ratman
so
California loves the chicks.
yeah. I can imagine.
Oh
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. No,
I'm
he's
like I said, I'm just happy to hear that. I was really scared it was gonna, could hurt someone, kill someone. You're running, you're hiding, I just want my hope is that the sewer, when they open that up and we finally get that footage and we finally broadcast it, and for the record, it's going to be 4K. So there's no degradation of quality. We're doing full resolution. We've got the highest video format. We're not even doing H.264. We're doing H.265 compression so that every kind of detail and whatever we find down there, it ain't going to be missed. It's going to be completely on the screen. We're not holding anything back. And it's so great to hear that we're going to see something positive rather than something negative. There's a lot of people even saying that if they're down there, we keep the cameras running. They might even see um, not even just a rat man, but there might just be just a man
oh,
down there. There could be
there could be men.
many. There
There
could
could
be
be
more than
men.
one.
But
We're not
hey,
really
I've just had a thought just now, real quick.
yeah,
Sorry to interject here. I just multiple uh, multiple if there's one man, if there's more than one man, say two of them, it's called men, right?
right,
So meaning if there's more than one man, it's men,
right,
right? In other words, if there's many men, it's men. So my question is why is the word many spelled Meny? I mean, why is it not spelled Meny?
right.
Right? Because it's pronounced many,
Yeah.
and but it's spelled Many as if there's just one man.
As if it should be
So
Manny, but they don't
Manny,
say that. Yeah,
but it's what I'm really getting at is it should be Meny and it's pronounced correctly because
sure.
there's more than one man. If there's more than one of a thing and man sort of representing things,
Yeah.
then why then many should just be spelled Meny is just really what you get down to it. I think that's how you should spell it. Maybe it was spelled that way and then we
Yeah.
kind of got lazy.
And that's you hit the nail right on the head. I think you're right on target where that's just kind of yet another thing swept under the rug, we don't really ask questions about. And that's what got us to the sewer situation. I feel like at the end of the day is we just kept kind of digging and putting down another manhole without really asking what's down there. And you could even kind of look at it that way from a vocabulary point of view is we just keep saying stuff, writing stuff the same way we've always been doing it without looking under it, just like the sewers. You're hitting flush, you got your standard what is it, faucet, and you're hitting the button or whatever turns the thing on, and you're just assuming it's working and it's doing its thing, but we don't know what's down there. We don't know we just are so in the dark, but not after this Friday, and that's kind of what brings us here.
Yeah,
Um,
it's really going to bring things to light in many ways. In
yeah,
many ways.
yeah.
Um, yeah. What do you suppose is down there besides poo and rats and men?
God, it's hard to even kind of sum up my feelings in kind of tangible thoughts. I've been thinking about this so long, it's almost in the realm of fantasy at this point. But what I'm hoping we see, when I'm kind of fingers crossed, hoping that we get a good look at in the footage is just hope. Um, you know, and that comes in many forms. I want to say, like, I hope we just find kind of new angles to just technology. I think we've been communicating so many ways for so long. I would just love that we go down there and it's like, I get it. Like we just you see the footage and you see where everything's flowing and you're looking at the whatever's living down there and you're just like, yeah, I get it. That down there is what's going on up here.
I hope we find gold
Yeah,
because
I would love that.
imagine what that could do for the country.
Yeah,
Imagine if we could become the richest country in
yeah,
the world,
yeah,
thanks to opening up the sewers and finding that there's gold in there.
yeah,
I mean, imagine the gold rush of 2023.
yeah. Almost
You
feel
know,
almost feels like that couldn't happen again. Um, because
but it
whenever
might.
someone says gold rush, it's like the cowboy guy with that pan or whatever. But imagine the modern day
It's
gold
a
rush
it's a man
attendee.
with a bedpan instead.
Or no, that's not what I was picturing. It's like a now it's just a guy in a regular hat, like a dad hat with a iPad.
He's got the iPad. Okay.
That way he can look up what kind of material they found and the best way to handle it.
Sure. Yeah. And I was thinking that the bedpan. He was holding a bedpan he's because might contain some poo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see.
So
Okay. Yeah,
imagine using the
I
bedpan,
didn't even consider that.
scooping up the poo, shaking it around a little bit, and then the gold sort of emerges from the poo.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I
And
see
sure,
that
he can
now.
have an iPad as well. Sure.
I see that now. Yeah,
Hmm.
that could be interesting. What do you think? What are you okay? Really, let's just kind of boil it down to what do you fear the most? What is the darkest thought you could possibly have? And I mean that in a general sense, but really for the sake of this, just about the sewer, they open it up. The worst possible thing you could see there, it's right there. Look down, follow me. Check it out. Down there at the end in the shadows, the worst possible thing you've maybe always feared. What is it? What are you
Vape,
seeing?
vape.
Vape?
Yeah.
Okay.
If there's just vape coming out of there,
Hmm.
that's going to be just horrifying, I think.
Hmm.
Don't you
Just
think?
well, you're talking about just clouds.
I'm talking about e juice,
Yeah.
V juice, vape,
Yeah.
jewel
Yeah.
mist.
Yeah.
I mean, that would just be absolutely, that would be devastating to see, I think. Vape coming out of there, and there's just a bunch of vape heads in there.
Yeah.
You look in the corner, in the darkness, there's a vape head just vaping his brains out.
Yeah.
And the vape mist is just it's getting bigger and it's swallowing up the whole sewer canals, and then it comes up and it's all over the place and you can't escape the vape.
Yeah.
And I'm scared of that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So
Um, it'd
I'm
be
scared
hard
of
to
that.
really, and let me tell you, you're opening that structure up. You're opening that up for the first time. I don't know if you've ever lifted a manhole. I've tried and no luck, but I'm assuming once you get that thing open, that vape, whatever you mentioned, the e juice, that's flowing out. That's not going back in. That's just out.
Mm-hmm. You
Yeah,
know
I
that
think.
early man used to use the sewer lids. Early man used to use them as frisbees. They were much stronger back then. These
Yeah,
men. Yeah. Very strong men that used to roam the
yeah,
earth, and they would use sewer lids to do frisbee. They would play frisbee. They do frisbee golf. In fact, they go to
sure.
Catalina Island
Yeah,
and they would take the ferry over there,
yeah,
and then they would do a whole, you know, frisbee golf course and using the sewer lids, and it was a
Yeah.
real. These were titans that used to roam the earth.
Yeah.
You know,
And no
this is
one,
all, of course. This is all, of course, all pre-vape, of course. You know,
right. Because now you never see anyone toss a manhole anywhere. And that's where we're at.
yeah.
You couldn't lift it if you tried. That's where we're at now. This,
We've devolved. We've devolved.
yeah,
We've devolved.
it's sad to think about where we've kind of where we've fallen to. And, um, really, what we're all kind of hoping is that there's something positive. Um, so I just got to ask, really, what's the best possible outcome? There's lots of debate, like you said, gold. There's lots of potential things. What's the best possible outcome for the world, the climate, really whatever? But by getting this footage out there, everyone posts it, everyone downloads they torrent it, they put the clips out there. Now footage is available to everyone for free. They can look what's down there. They can look. Now that knowledge is out there, what's the best case scenario you think, kind of just geographically?
Geographically, best case scenario is that we can expand our living spaces.
Yeah.
We can expand on an ever growing population.
Right.
We can actually start having babies again, because now we have somewhere to put them.
Yeah.
We've got extra space, and that could be a really, majorly impactful thing in a positive way on our world. It's just the extra space.
Yeah.
We get extra space, and that means we can finally get extra people in the mix here.
Yeah. I think you're right on the money. And I'm a little bit scared what could be in the sewer, but I'm more scared that we don't find out what's in the sewer because of what you said. I mean, how are we gonna? We have to go somewhere. We have to do something.
We got to look. You got to look. You got to look at it. Sometimes you just got to rip the diaper off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just a sort of an easy thing. You just got to rip off the diaper and see what's inside sometimes.
100%. Yeah.
You can't just sort of peel it off in a slow way because you're never going to get it off that way. Sometimes you just got to rip that diaper apart and see what kind of load is hiding inside of that thing.
Sure.
And if it's a pull-up, even more reason to rip it off. I mean, you could just as well easily pull it off, but you might. Sometimes you just got to jump in. Sometimes when the water is cold, you ever go swimming and the water's so cold?
Sure.
You just got to jump in. So, whatever diarrhea is in the sewer, we just got to jump in.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
And I mean, well said. Yeah. I mean, that for my money, you can't really say it much better than that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a fact of life,
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate your time. Is there any kind of message you want just on the eve of the grand opening, cracking that sucker open? What do you think is something everyone should know? Do you have any kind of maybe last words to share with everyone before the big premiere?
The big opening, yeah. Let's just stay positive. Let's keep our thoughts and prayers with the Ratman of California and hope that he's doing all right. Let us pray for gold, and let us let's just keep it positive. Hopefully this is it's not a difficult process opening it up, and hopefully we can just to stay tuned. There's exciting things along the way here. We got some. I think we're just getting started here.
Yeah.
This isn't an end goal. Okay, this is the beginning of something fresh. So, get your fresh start, and you might want to get Subway earlier in the day before the lid comes off. Just to prep yourself.
Sure.
Subway sandwiches, that is.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. We've been doing that here, and we have a lot of Subway locations close to the sewers. I'm sure they're all connected to them. So we just want to kind of get that before, God forbid, anything happens. We
That's
already
what
ate.
that's why it's yeah,
No,
that's why it's called Subway, you know.
I just
That's why it's called Subway, because it's connected to the sewer system and it's connected to the
I
underground.
I never I just got that 2 seconds ago.
Hmm. So that's sort of, where it all comes from, is Subway, you know.
Yeah.
Jared was birthed in a sewer.
What?
Jared was birthed in a sewer.
When?
In 65. Summer of 65.
Well, that wow, what do you do with that information?
You go to Subway. You go to Subway and you get yourself a veggie jubilee. There's nothing like the veggie jubilee at Subway sandwiches. You go in there and just say to them, "Yeah, let me get the veggie jubilee." They'll know what you mean. You know what? Follow in the footsteps of the great Jared from Subway, and get yourself a veggie jubilee, and you'll be fresh and ready for the grand opening of the California sewer.
Okay. Wow. Thank you for your time. I appreciate that. And
Oh, it's absolutely my pleasure.
we're all a lot more educated now. Thank you. Take care.
That's what I'm here for. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks.